So now for the second part of this video, I'd like to move on to the benefits of jogging. The first thing is that it basically costs nothing. I mean, you can go out and, deck yourself out, get all that expensive junk, brand name like jogging equipment and the water bottle belt and special hats, special sunglasses, whatever. I don't know what people buy in those kinds of, like those stores like the Running Room or whatever you call it. But if you just want to be, or if you're just a normal person, you don't like to spend a lot of money, then you could literally just buy a pair of running shoes if you don't already have them. Good to have sunglasses. Bring a bottle of water with you every day. It's pretty much free. I mean, you're going to go through more shoes than normal. Personally, I go through a pair of running shoes about once a month or a month and a half, depending on which brand I buy. But I buy the cheapo stuff like Walmart shoes. I'm not trying to impress anybody. Another benefit is that it's like a middle ground. Walking is a middle ground that doesn't, burn you out. For the first, I don't know, basically throughout my entire teen years and early 20s, I decided that, since jogging was the only real exercise, I had to jog. And I attempted 3 separate programs and failed on each one because I just felt burnt out after 2 weeks and I just didn't want to do it anymore. And, resting for, 2 or 3 days in between jogs, even if that did stop me from getting burnt out, I kind of felt like uncomfortable doing nothing for days at a time, waiting for the next jogging day to happen. With walking, you can go every single day. It will not burn you out. And if you do feel like you're starting to get burnt out because you're power walking or speed walking, then all you have to do is just dial it back a bit, I prefer to go out for about 3 hours a day. If you want to, you can do 1 hour a day, but it depends on your level of health, your age, etc., etc. If you do feel like you are getting burnt out, then that's the great thing about walking, is that there's really no excuse for you to not go out and walk, because even with jogging, if you feel burnt out, even jogging super slow sometimes seems too much of a burden. But I mean, who can say that they can't walk? You know what I mean? Again, like age and all that is a factor, but pretty much anybody can walk. No matter how burnt out they feel, they can still go out and do an hour of walking. It's not impossible. So it removes that possibility of making some kind of excuse. The last thing I wanted to say is you can feel more peace when you go out, and I'm not talking about some kind of Zen thing. I mean, okay, as an example, and this happens to me, it may happen to other people, I don't know, probably most people. If you're going to come home after school or work, and you sit down, and you got, your snacks beside you, you're watching your shows, there's a certain amount of anxiety that people have, even if it's buried deep down, that makes them worry that they are, facing some kind of impending doom because, they're eating their snacks, they're, not doing any kind of exercise. But, most of us just push that thought out of our heads if we're very sedentary. But, there is that anxiety, though, like I said, in the back of your mind, that you are worried that one day something will happen just because you're not, doing anything for your health. And when I say you get a certain peace, what I mean is even if you come home and you're going to plop down on the couch, you're going to sit on the computer for like 4 hours, whatever, you got your snack foods, you can feel, at ease knowing that you put in your time, whether it was like before you went out in the day or whether it was like right after you came home, you put in your time to do like an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, of exercise. You know that you put in your time and it's out of the way. It's possible that even if you don't stop eating junk food, you will still lose weight. Um, that's dependent on a lot of factors. I'm not a medical professional, but it is possible to lose weight without sacrificing junk food, as long as you're not going to be eating like 10, candy bars a day or whatever, going overboard. I can attest to that myself, and also I can give you another example with my friend that I went to college with. He used to do a soccer league or something like that where they would practice every other day for like, hour and a half or something. And he was eating junk food all the time. Like, even during the soccer practice, he would eat McDonald's combo with the extra large pop and all that stuff. And he still lost weight by the end of that summer. And from my own experience, while I was working at that grocery store, I was eating junk food still. There were some days when I just felt like pigging out, and I would buy a pack of snack cakes and just eat like 3 of them for lunch. No restraint really. But I was still maintaining a pretty trim waistline and lots of energy. So, if you're the kind of person who doesn't want to give up junk food, you don't have to cut it out completely. It would be good to cut it back because you will lose weight much faster. But if you are either, happy with your weight and you just want to feel stronger, or if you're not crazy about losing weight quickly, you're happy losing weight slowly, then you can still eat your like M&Ms or whatever, right? But I mean, it depends on your own personal biology. It worked for me, it worked for my friend. We were under 30, so maybe that age had something to do with it, who knows. Anyway, that's pretty much it. My next video is going to be on some tips for people who want to start walking to exercise. And I don't mean tips on like what shoes to buy, how much water to drink, blah, blah, blah. None of that stupid stuff. If you want to find that kind of information, there's websites that are a dime a dozen where you can look that up. I'm talking about practical tips for basically how to survive as a walker. You know what I mean? That seems silly, but there are some things that you can learn that make it much easier and less tedious to walk around like neighborhoods and stuff like that. Okay, so good luck.